Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer, and I'm coming to you again with a very interesting guest, someone who calls herself the image and reputation consultant. It sounds really fancy. And I guess it is fancy because she's quite a fancy lady herself. And today we're going to be talking about everyone wants to inspire other people. But my guest today, her motto and her purpose in life is to be a person who helps and inspires others. She truly believes that whatever it is that she does and whatever work she does, she's there to enhance you, to enable you, to encourage you, to facilitate you in being the grandest version of you and how you show up to the rest of the world. So without any further ado, I'd love to welcome my dear guest, Nicole Farrell. Welcome to the show, Nicole. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Jennifer. I am well, thank you. I am blessed. So
Wonderful.
thank you so much for having me on your platform. It's very much appreciated.
Not at all. It's real fun to actually meet all lovely kinds of people, especially you. Now, I was so intrigued by this image and
Oh.
reputation consultant that you are. And I
Mhm.
love to share with our audience what exactly does that mean?
Okay. Well, when it comes to image,
Mhm.
it's so vast because
Okay.
the scope is very wide. It's not just a lot of people think it's just about how you dress, but an image coach is much more than that.
Mhm.
We have to find a way for you to present yourself at your best in
Mhm.
with your speech, with your deportment, and also with your wardrobe. But we really find a way for you to be comfortable on
Mhm.
one side with yourself, but also to refine your image and to refine your deportment based on your goals in life. So, for instance, you might be a corporate person and you feel, you don't live up to the standard really of how you should speak or how you should comport yourself. So, we work with people because it's not necessarily about a full fledged change
Mhm.
for people. It's really about enhancing and refining your image. So
Okay.
that's what I work with in terms of the image side. And with the reputation, perception is part of your reputation.
Mhm.
People would look at you, and from either just looking at you or dealing with you, they
Mhm.
form a perception of you. So
Mhm.
all of this becomes part of your reputation.
Mhm.
So we have to now build your reputation in a particular way so that you can
Mhm.
project the image that should be projected based on your goals as well.
That's very interesting. My next question to you would be, how do you go about tapping into what it is the image of the person is and how they would like to help people perceive them in that way? So, do you have many people who come to you who have no clue as to how they should actually uh, show up to the rest of the world, and
Yes.
they may be corporate, but they really look funky and
Mhm.
don't know how to actually project. Um, so, how do you go about getting to getting them to see what their image truly is that they're
Mhm.
comfortable with, so to speak? And because
Right.
I believe that you do an amazing thing of helping people to style, their personal styling goes with the
Mhm.
image uh, consulting that you do.
Yes.
It's almost like an art form for me. So please share because I find it fascinating to say the least.
Yes, I absolutely love what I do in that regard because every client is so different.
Mm-mm.
Most times people don't have a clue what they want to do with themselves, what kind of image they want, what
Mm-hmm.
even type of style they may that may cater best for them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really about, even though, it's not about them changing in a
Mm-hmm.
grand scale, unless, of course, they want to do a full on
Yeah.
transformation.
That's right.
But if they just want to refine their style,
Mhm.
it's about being true to their
Mm.
personality and their essence, but I
Mm.
will also push them out of their comfort zone.
Wow.
So, for instance, some people may just like the jeans and t-shirts, or they may only like to wear black, or they may only go for, a shirt and a regular skirt with flip-flops, whatever the case is. Some might be into sneakers and just, a pair of shorts or whatever the case is. And they may not know how to put the simplest ensembles together. So it's really for me, in talking with them and getting to know them, get a sense of what would work best for them.
Know them.
And
Okay.
sometimes I can take them from 0 to 100 and they would be like, girl, I'm scared, but I'll trust you. And then some are like, I don't know. So I take baby steps with them along the way. So it really depends on the client.
So it's really an interesting. It's almost like helping them to see different sides of them, and you
Yes.
help to draw that out for them. And
Yes.
I think it's a fascinating thing, really fascinating. Um, I believe that you didn't actually start off as an image consultant, and you were not in personal styling and image and reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you into it? I mean, you were very, very brilliant with being on the radio, I see.
Yes.
Media and entertainment practitioner.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Tell us more about that.
So I entered media and entertainment after 12 years of being an admin assistant. I have to go way back here to
Mm,
secondary school, which is high school.
mm,
And, we were conditioned to do well at our exams, find a good job, well, a permanent job, try to work up the corporate ladder,
mm,
and then retire and get your pension.
mm,
So, at the age of 16, I bought into that. I did all of my further educational,
mm,
uh, um, courses and became an admin assistant. I
mm.
did that for 12 years. And I remember I used to be, I would get to work early, got a permanent job,
Oh, like
got,
everyone says that you have to, yes,
yeah,
because
exactly.
that is the norm that we have to
That's
conform
right.
to. Mm, mm.
Exactly.
That,
So, and I used to reach to work early on a morning, and we had these glass to floor windows, and I would sit down and watch the world go by while I ate my breakfast. And I said, you know what? I can't do this job for the next 20 or 30 years. And I said, Nicole, what do you want to do? And immediately I heard a voice say radio broadcasting. Like, what? I had never consciously thought about it. I loved listening to the radio and listening to the announcers and how they, enunciated and their inflections and all that, but I'd never consciously thought about it. But for some reason, when I heard my spirit, I guess,
mm,
say it, it made sense to me. And I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. But Jennifer, it took me from that point, it took me 6 years before I got into media and entertainment. And the story is so funny because I went and I did a radio broadcasting course. I
mm,
did well. I was voted best student and everything. So I was like, oh, yeah, I am hot. I am popping. I am ready to start my career.
mm,
And I was talking to everybody who was in media, do you know of this opportunity? Do you know of that opportunity? And I sent my demo to one media house. They
mm,
called me in for an interview. They were like, oh, yes, this sounds great. I was like, okay, good. I'm inside.
mm,
Well, got back on to me. We'll put you on file.
mhm,
And about 2 years after that, something told, I kept talking to people and something said, let it go.
mm,
You'll get it, but let it go.
mhm,
Continue doing what you're doing. And it was hard to do because when you're ready for something, you feel you're ready for something and you want to go now, it's
mhm,
very hard to just release it and go about your business.
mm,
But I said, okay. And the funny part of that story is fast forward to the year before I started media, I was a theater actress as well. I was on stage doing my thing. Didn't know a
Wow.
radio executive
So now
was
you have, sorry for interrupting. So
uh-huh.
an admin assistant, a qualified admin assistant, broadcasting, choosing to be a broadcasting entrepreneur,
Yes.
hopefully, or getting a job in that area. And
Mhm.
you had time to do theater as well.
Yes, at one
Are
point
you
I
a
was actually
superwoman or what?
I sometimes I want to believe I am,
But you are.
because at one point I was literally juggling like 5 jobs. Like it was
Holy
crazy.
Jesus.
I was
Wow.
working Sunday to Sunday. It was really crazy.
Did
But
you have a life of your own at that time or?
no, no, I did not. I did not. I
Mm,
have to be honest because I was so laser focused on my career. And to be honest, at the back of my mind, even though yes, I was doing what I loved, and whatever opportunities came to me, but I also knew that in some way, whatever I was doing, it would lend to my entrepreneurial career. I didn't have it figured out, but I
mhm,
just knew deep down inside that it would help at that
mhm,
point.
mhm,
So I continued it, and I didn't have time for family. I didn't have time, I mean, sometimes I would hang out with friends and stuff who I did theater with and all of that, but
mhm.
really and truly, I didn't have a lot of time for myself.
So then obviously, as many people would point a finger and say, oh, who does she think she is? She has no time for family. She doesn't really care. All she's bothered about is herself. At that particular
Mhm,
point, how did you? I mean, for sure, this must have happened. Okay,
mhm.
friends, family, all go into this thing of like, she's not. I don't know who she thinks she is. So, how did you tackle that? Because
Um,
everyone listening right now, Nicole, also has pretty similar situations going on.
mhm.
So what they usually do, and I'm speaking for all of them, and sometimes I've also had to do that myself, is to put what it is that I want on the shelf to cater to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that
Uh-huh.
sometimes can be a major pain. So I'd like to know, how did you tackle all those negative things about, oh, she doesn't care and who does she think she is and all that kind of jazz?
Um, I didn't encounter it a
Oh,
lot
very low.
directly.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I did have a couple of relatives who, would make certain remarks about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to like those I was closest to, they didn't say anything because I think they knew my drive. But
Hmm.
I'm sure deep down inside they felt some type of way because I was always doing something. Like I said, I worked from Sunday to Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I would call every day. I would talk to my mom every day. Um, but after several years, that is one of the whys that I went into business so that I can have more freedom
Mm-hmm.
for my loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
because I realized I was missing out on things. And when I say missing out on things, just little milestones or ways about people and experiences, because I didn't have the time to spend with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a matter of messages or phone calls. But I'm a person, I don't want to say I don't care about what people think, but I'm not heavily bothered about what people think.
I
But it
think that's the
started
best.
bothering.
No, but it's actually, sorry for interrupting, but I
Uh-huh.
really believe that it is a necessity to truly first look at what it is that you are doing
Exactly.
that brings you joy, because
Mm-hmm.
not many people would even understand what brings any person joy, because
Right.
maybe they haven't experienced it themselves. And when we become, so when you talk about, I can understand where your amazing um, purpose comes in, where you say you help inspire others. So unless you are not inspired yourself, how on earth could you
Right.
inspire other people, you know? And
Exactly.
I think
And
that people see it now, and they probably recognize it and say, wow, she really is walking her talk, which makes
yes, she had a reason for what she was doing.
going. Exactly. So now
Yeah.
tell us about a little bit about your brilliant organization that is called Okora Events. Wear
Yes.
different hats, lady, and I like that. So you are under that, you
It
are
keeps life exciting.
exactly. Tell me about it. Wow. So then you have an event company, and under the banner of that, you do PR, you do image
Yes.
consulting, you do personal styling,
Mhm.
um, and you actually help inspire many people. So I'd love to know, how does it all, you know, help you to inspire people? What exactly? And also, I'd like you to share with us how it is that you've been part of a very important thing back in good old Trinidad when you were in charge of the Miss World Trinidad scenario.
Oh,
Please share that.
yes. Oh,
Tell,
yes.
tell us about, did you go and say, yes, I'm going to do this? Or were you found out and then people said, we would like you to be part of it? You know?
No, I had started advertising my business several months, and this is one of the challenges because I had just started my company that same year,
Mhm.
and I was advertising. My phone was not ringing, people were not calling, but I said, you know what? I'm going to keep posting because one day my phone is going to ring and I'm going to start getting clients. So I would be posting up a storm. And I always knew, and this is where life really amazes me. If I would just go off to the side a bit, since I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a part of Miss World or Miss Universe. I always
Ooh.
wanted that. I didn't know in what capacity, but I just knew I wanted it. So I was advertising my company, and 7 months, Jennifer, 7 long months
Seven lucky
after,
number. It's a lucky number
yeah,
too. The 7 year
I,
itch. Monkey.
yes, you know, and I got a message out. I think it was a phone call out of the blue. And the national director for Miss World Trinidad and Tobago called me and she said, I really would like you to do our PR. What?
Oh,
And let me tell, like, I couldn't even, it's like I believe in dreams, but when it happened, it was so unexpected. And I was like, oh, sure, that would be great. And inside, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is happening, and I came on board and they put everything together really quickly.
Mhm.
And so I started, sharing my ideas and we would go through everything. And because I was also an event couturier,
Mm.
I said, well, I knew that they were having some challenges with something. So I said, well, listen, I can step in and do this, that, and the other. And they were okay, great. So, I I helped them organize the post pageant VIP ceremony, and I hosted it. I got entertainers for them and everything. It was one of the most fabulous experiences I've ever had. And I'm really so grateful to her
Mm.
because, this was a young company. She could have gone with any other,
Mm.
public relations consultant,
Mhm.
or publicist, but she chose me. And I can't tell you how grateful I was for that opportunity. And from there, things just really took off for me.
So I'm going to ask you a very, very personal question now, Nicole.
Mhm.
What do you think was the reason that lady chose you to actually run the whole Miss World Trinidad and Tobago? What do you think it
Um,
was?
I think part of it was probably knowing in almost indirectly what I bring to the table.
Mm.
I had actually indirectly dealt with Miss Trinidad and Tobago years before when I was a magazine columnist. and I had to deal with her briefly. But you know, we hadn't really stayed in touch in a great way or anything like that. But I'm guessing that that was part of the reason why.
Okay.
And I think she also realized that, listen, this is a person, if she says she's going to do X, she's going to do X. You know, if I tell her something, but I say, listen, I don't want you to put that out there, I can trust her to do that. And I think when you're dealing, especially with such a visible organization, being Miss World, a lot of eyes are on you. And I think she needed somebody she was comfortable with and who she knew she could trust.
Good.
And that's something I don't take lightly.
No, I think it's a brilliant thing. So how amazing is this? So the organization is an events company. So you were just called in to take care of a certain segment. And then you have the drive to take care of the whole PR aspect. You have the
Yes.
drive to take care of the complete management of the whole event. You organize the entertainers. So I want people to get this, so that you don't have to just stop at one thing. And it is never that whatever it is we've learned in the past, that will never ever come in handy. So it's not about giving up or saying, why did I do this? It's never going to work for me. But it's the accumulation of all the amazing stuff that we've learned and the knowledge that we've acquired that actually
Yes.
helps us in different parts of our lives to actually help us to do a very good job. So that was
Yeah.
a feather in the cap. And then you just took off.
Yes. And like I always tell my clients, I say, be pushy. You know, you don't have to be aggressive, but be pushy. If you know you're capable of something, put yourself out there. You know, and when I knew they were organizing the post pageant VIP ceremony, I was like, I can do that. So I was like, hey, you know, do y'all want me to handle? And they were like, oh, great, sure. Boom.
Yeah. So
You
how
know,
many
so
people actually, so it's a question of that many people say, oh, this is not my job.
yeah,
Okay.
that is true.
Or why should I take responsibility of this? You know, so I guess it's the different kinds of different personality types that actually come together to excel and to go beyond the call of duty. I think that's what you
Yes.
did, that it actually helped you to really get, and I think that many people would like to learn that from you too. And that could be
Right.
something that you do a brilliant job with, is to help people to get out of their own way, to show up.
Exactly. Mindset is everything to me.
Exactly.
And even before, and this was like 2 to 3 years before I even started the road of entrepreneurship, I would literally, because I was working from home, I had resigned from the media house, and I was just doing freelance work with the magazine and, you know, being a television talk show host and stuff. And literally every day it became like a job for me to listen to YouTube videos, watch YouTube videos, listen to people who were inspirational and people who knew about business, because I knew that my mindset was what would propel me forward. And I knew I would need to be very strong in my mind to be successful in business. So I would literally do it every day. It was like a job for me. And that is what helped to maintain, because, you know, starting and building a business, it's no feat for the weak.
No,
So I
absolutely.
really had to build up
Absolutely.
myself, and
I
that
agree.
helped
I
tremendously.
agree with you 100%. So now I'm wanting to ask you a question that is probably will uncover, possibly for you to discover what it is that can be added on to your repertoire.
Oh, there is one thing I am definitely going to do, which is pageant coaching. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I am so stoked about it. Actually, fun fact, long before I even got chosen to do the PR for Miss World, another pageant body years before. Incidentally, it was Miss World as well, but under a different management team.
Okay.
And they asked me to coach their delegate. And I was like, me? I was like, what? And this is the thing, people see things in you,
That you sometimes
and
don't see.
exactly. So now it has started getting stronger for me to do the pageant coaching and modeling coaching. So I'm definitely going to be
I
doing
remember
that.
having a chat with you the first time that we spoke, and I think we
Yes.
spoke for around about an hour or so. And you
Yes.
said, have you ever thought about adding to your repertoire? And I said, what about coaching pageants? And you said,
Yes.
oh, yeah, I think that'll be a cool
Light bulb moments. Yes, I have to give you thanks for that too, because sometimes we have a thought at the back of our minds,
And
but
then,
then somebody comes and puts it out there, and you're like,
So
oh my gosh, this is a sign from the universe.
Absolutely. I think it's real fun. So let me ask you this. If people want to, what kind of clientele do you really enjoy working with, Nicole? And if anybody was to qualify to be a client of yours, what must they be? Who must they be, and what must they choose to do differently?
Okay, well, let me start on what they should not be. If they know, if they know they're very hot and cold with their efforts, I don't want to work with you. Doesn't matter if you're paying me $1 million. I don't want to work with you, because then you're wasting your time and you're wasting my time. So if you're coming into this, even though at times it will be challenging, I want to know that you're going to commit to the process and do it. I typically work with professional women, whether it's employees or entrepreneurs, and they have to be able to trust my vision. Yes, I work with what they may like or what they think they want, but at the end of the day, you have to trust me to get you to the point that you want to be at. So an open mind is very, very important, and be willing to come out of your comfort zone. I also had to come out of my comfort zone with dressing over the years. And now you can't stop me. I'm like experimenting all the time. You can't stop me.
You are the unstoppable image consultant.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like
So,
that.
yeah, they have to be able to be willing to come out of their comfort zone. And the wonderful thing is, I would have clients who would message me, oh my gosh, look what I just bought. I'm going to order this. And they're like so excited about this new phase. And it's so great to watch.
Yeah, to have someone to open up, to really step into what it is that they can be and do differently and how they show up, I think is really cool. Possibly I shall come and speak to you, and you can be my image consultant.
Sure, anytime.
I think that's really cool. So now to get to the part where it seems very exciting for me, and that is to look at how it is that from being a TV presenter, to being a person who writes columns in magazines, so magazines, then to become image consultant, to be a PR person, to host events. So how do you use all of these things to actually come under the banner of Azura, where you are enjoying what you do and helping other people and inspiring other people to have fun with it too? How do you do that?
Well, first of all, my personality, I'm a very cheerful person. I can be very serious when it comes to work, but I'm a very cheerful person. And I like people to feel comfortable around me, because remember, they may have to trust me with some secrets, some personal secrets of their own. So I need them to be comfortable with me. And it's always funny when I think about everything that I've done before. which
mm,
is why I said, I knew these things would help me in business. So,
mhm,
for instance, being a radio personality,
mhm,
um, I know what goes on in studio. I know what goes on behind the scenes. I know
mhm,
how media people think. I know the things that they do.
mhm,
So now with clients, and because I do media interview coaching,
mhm,
so when I'm training a client, when I'm coaching a client, I know what to do to prepare them for when they do their media interviews,
mhm,
right? So that they understand things from a different perspective. Because a lot of times people don't have a clue as to what to expect, what to do, whatever is going to go on.
true.
So that's
True.
one. Even in terms of being a television presenter, again, I know what goes on. I know what's involved.
Mhm,
You learn about camera angles. You learn about what works with your body. You learn about what side
mhm,
is better in
mhm,
terms of
mhm,
your face. All of these different things and what to expect on the set.
mhm.
So, and even being an admin assistant, which I ran away from, that helps me in business because I can do my own letters, I could do my own documents, I know how to write a proper letter, all of these different things. So
Mhm,
every single thing that I've done
mhm,
helped me, even in terms of theater. I learned to dress quickly. I can dress in half an hour.
mhm.
I can change outfits in 15 seconds.
Wow.
You can do things like that.
Mm.
But one big thing that theater helped me with too is pushing past your comfort zone in different ways. And even in terms of sometimes you may not be feeling up to scratch, but you have to go out there and get the job done.
The show
You know,
must go on.
the show must go on. I remember
Absolutely.
one play, I was literally on a bed in between my scenes because I was feeling so ill with the flu. And
Mm-mm.
I would listen on the monitor. And when I heard my scene coming up, I was like, okay, let's go. And I burst onto that stage like nothing was going on. You have to do what you have
But
to do.
I think it's fascinating. I find it so exciting. Your life is exciting, lady. Really.
When I think about it, it
It
is.
is really
Yes.
wonderful. To
Yes. Thank you.
no, seriously. And if everyone is listening out there, the question over here is, how exciting do you want your life to be? And
Oh, very
are
exciting.
you willing to go that extra mile to actually see what amazing gifts you have within you? And would you go that extra mile to really discover and uncover your amazing gifts?
Mhm.
And every time that you think that, things are not working out for you and the job that you're doing sucks, it's about actually giving yourself a bit of time to see how much you've actually learned in that job while being there. And it's not
Yes.
about always, and no one is saying that you can't change it, but can you just take that amazing skill set or that knowledge that you acquired during that job, and you never know where you could bring it to use in the
Yes,
future,
exactly.
just as Nicole has done. I mean, I've just been writing down TV presenter, PR personality, magazine columnist, image consultant, um, events, events management, radio personality coaching, media and international coaching. I mean, hello, but all of it, it it's
How
so
did I find time to do all
yeah,
of that?
no, but it's who you be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Is when you can be all of that,
absolutely.
it emanates through you and comes through you. So it's not a Herculean task, but it is something that you always knew that you could do, quite honestly, Nicole.
Right.
Okay. And as a child,
Correct.
you had already perceived that, but you didn't have the cognitive capacity to know how it was going to get created. So the universe
That's right.
does have your back, lady, and it's a
Yes.
facilitator of possibility. I truly believe that because it's like me. I've always liked to assist people, to help people to get out of their own way from the very onset. And today I do that, is to help people to get out
Right.
of their own way so that they can actually choose to uncover and discover the brilliance that they be, which actually makes the difference in their life and everyone else's life as well. Simply
Correct.
because we're all so unique. Each one of us is unique, and to
That's
try
right.
and compete doesn't quite, I mean, I just can't understand why you would put all your energy in competing when you could be creating something brilliant.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes. I am with you.
It's so cool. And you are, along with all of this, I've got to tell the people around, because it's, you never ever stop, lady, mashallah. As they say. It's like, hello, can I have some more, please? And it's almost like I'd like to have some more to do, because whatever I'm doing is truly not enough. So now, to
Yeah.
crown it all, Miss Nicole is
Uh-huh.
also the state chair, Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago chapter for
Yes.
oneness and wisdom.
Mhm.
Now, that's the G100 Oneness and Wisdom chapter, of which I'm proud to be a part, and you're a
Yes.
part. And we're going to be sharing this with all our G100 Oneness and Wisdom sisters, that we're all coming together to create far greater. So it's been an honor to actually meet someone of your brilliance that is truly
Oh,
making a
thank you.
difference. And before you go, I'd like you to share with our audience, what is it that you believe has really inspired you personally to inspire, to actually work out your amazing purpose, which is to inspire, to help other people? What is
I would
your personal inspiration?
I would say honestly, it came from a spiritual slant. It
Okay.
was actually maybe in 2016. I remember I was going through this personal challenge, and I knew I also wanted to be a motivational speaker in some capacity or the other. And one day I was like, God, why are you putting me through this? It just seems so, I kept it real with him. I said, this seems so unnecessary. Why am I going through this?
Mm.
And he said, how do you want to inspire people and motivate people and be a motivational speaker, and you don't go through anything? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's
And
the experience. Yes.
yes, my mind just switched at that point. And a little later on, Spirit again told me, said, that is your purpose. Your purpose is to give hope to people, inspire people, motivate people. And it just feels like that's what I'm about. I want to see people win. I want to see people succeed.
Mm.
Sure, I want it for myself, but that doesn't mean I don't want it for you too.
Exactly. But
So
as we said earlier
part.
on, you can't give what it is you don't have. So,
Exactly.
and I love to
Exactly.
use
So,
the word fulfill comes to mind. You got to fill
yes.
yourself up to be able to fill somebody else up.
Oh,
Fulfill,
yes. Oh, yes.
I love that word, and it's good to actually see how people can shift and change by having people like you in the universe. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
And
Yeah.
before we go, I'd like you to share um, probably three things that you would like to give to the people for them to come into, to actually think about, so they can be inspired to go beyond the status quo, to really become who they can be, and how it is you can help them to do that.
Oh, one would definitely be, don't think about your your circle's history. And by that I mean family.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times people want us to tap into the same thing that our parents and our aunts and uncles and grandparents did. You have your own path, right? They did things their way, but this is your life. I always say that it's your life, and it has to be about what makes you happy. And whenever I have to do a coaching session with clients, I always make room for chats, because the more I talk with you, the more I understand things. And you may say something that lets me understand why you do what you do, or why you make the decisions that you make.
Mm.
So that's one.
Mm.
Two, you have to believe that you were created to be more. Regardless of what level you're on right now in your life, you can do more. And it's not that you have to be super busy and, you know, wrapped up in a million things, but whatever you want, you can get it. I like to say, I remember hearing this quote, don't put the brakes on God,
No.
right? And don't put the brakes on yourself.
Mm.
You can do whatever you want to do. It's a matter of working hard and working smart.
Mm.
And the third thing is to embrace who you are. Some people feel as if they have to be somebody else. They have to act differently than they are. They have to do things differently. No, be you. That's what sells. Be yourself. I always tell people I'm a diva. I don't apologize for being a diva.
Hell
You
yeah.
know what?
I love it. I love it. I
You know,
love
I
it.
don't apologize for it. And you have to embrace who you are. There are things about yourself that
Mm.
you have to celebrate. And you know what always boggles my mind? When I ask people, what do you like about yourself? And they literally have to take a lot of time to think. And I'm like,
Hello.
really?
Knock, knock. Anyone in there?
I'm like, how?
That
But if
is,
you ask them what
which
they
is
don't
really
like about
cool.
themselves, oh, they will fire off a
Yeah,
list.
that's the thing. Don't, anything that you cannot do is first on the mind.
Yes,
So I would say
yes.
that it will, I think if both of us ever got together to coach anybody, the first thing I would do
Mhm.
is to do a reset of the mindset.
Yes,
The mindset
very
reset,
necessary.
what it is that I do is to help people to get out of their own way, literally.
Mhm.
Okay. And give up this thing about I have to compete to be better. Excuse me. Please don't waste your energy doing that, because you
Yeah,
were born to be different. You were born to be unique and
exactly.
celebrate. So if you don't know, to come to people like Nicole and myself, so we can help you to discover and uncover your own brilliance that will make a difference.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I think that
yes.
is so essential. Any
Truly is.
last words of wisdom and oneness for all of us?
Oh my gosh, I can talk about this forever, but I think one thing I want to emphasize is to let people know that we all have our own essence, but if you want to succeed, you have to do things differently. A lot of times we want to do the same things and get different results, and it just does not work like that. So you really have to put yourself out there, be uncomfortable, do things that are out of the box. There are times even dealing with people on an international scale, I have to get up at midnight, or I have to get up at 3 a.m. for a meeting. I love my bed, but because I know what my goals are, I'm going to make that effort. So you can't be the same way and expect different results. It does not work that way.
Yeah, yeah, and the mindset has to be, if you really want to, if there's any
Yes.
competition, the competition has to be with you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I
And
always
I
say,
think
how
that is the
badly do
best.
you want it?
Yeah, exactly. And how much fun do you want to have with doing all of this? And it may be a
Exactly.
pain in the you know where, but you know what? It's going to actually get you out of your own way. And when you do, you'll be so pleasantly surprised to see how much
Oh,
capacity and ability
yes.
and skills you really have.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's really essential to allow you to expand. And you're
Correct.
never ever going to reach your destination. Please remember, your whole life is a journey, not
Journey.
a destination.
Well said.
If you could actually fall in love with you in every little step that you take, you will really know that
That's right.
you're made for greater things all the
Oh,
time.
yes. Oh,
So
yes.
it has been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure and fun. I have to have all of that in my conversation, to really, because I think as we mature. I'm not talking about you, sorry, I'm talking about me. For me, it is having more fun and help that it really helps me to get out of my own way all the time.
Yes.
Really, because I can't say this enough that getting out of your own way is the only way that you get to know that you are the way.
Yeah. Oh, that, yes. Yes.
So, which is
Yes.
really, really cool. So, having said that, Nicole, thank you very much for spending time with
Oh, it's been a
me,
pleasure.
and I will send all your details and share it with everybody. And
Sure.
be
Thank
ready.
you.
You don't have to be sitting by your phone because I think the phone is going to go red hot, ringing.
I claim that. I
Okay.
claim it.
And so I would like to say hasta la vista, diva.
Hasta la vista, my darling. Thank you so much.
And God bless. And let's keep in touch and see what else we can
Yes,
create
we
together.
shall.
Okay.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Take
You're
care.
welcome.
God bless.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.